issue, but they've got a very experienced coaching staff. They'll pick their poison. They'll decide how they want to try and defend this Croatian team. And let's not forget, 10 of this team were silver medalists last year. They have a lot of international experience, and they'll be excited. They'll be excited about being back at the World Championships. They'll be excited about the number of their fans that have come to watch. And as I say, momentum is a crazy thing in this sport. And if they get it, they have players who can pour points in.
They also have a team that's very deep. Croatia will probably use a smaller rotation if the game is tight. The Philippines may just substitute en masse. That's the style. It's a little bit unpredictable. They want to make it unpredictable for Jasmin Repesha, the head coach of the Croatians.
Well, Repesha knows he's got a problem if this game becomes a really unstructured game.
And now the interpretation of the national anthems of both nations. We start with the Philippines, Lupang Hinirang. The chosen land, Lupang Hinirang, the national anthem of the Philippines. And now for the Republic of Croatia, Lijepa Nasha Domovino, our beautiful homeland. We welcome those of you who just joined us to Group B coverage. The World Cup of Basketball has just started in Andalusia, in Sevilla, the Palacio Municipal de Deportes. Croatia with the expectation of perhaps sweeping this group if they could and becoming the #1 seed. Remember, the winners on this side, 4 of the top 6 teams on this side will advance, and those 4 will meet in reverse order the top 4 teams of the other side. As we look at our referee trio, Jose Reyes from Mexico, Fernando Rocha from Portugal, and Mohammed Al-Ameen from Kuwait. And everybody knows that on the other side lies Spain, which is a group of death. So no one particularly wants to finish 4th in this group. That would mean a definite or expected matchup for Spain and an expected early end to their tournament.
Well, even though there's never going to be an easy game in the second round of this competition, no one's going to want to play Spain. And therefore, with this group that could be a very, very competitive group, there will be teams dropping games to each other. And this Philippines team, as we said right at the top of the show, has got players who can score. Therefore, on any given night, with players of the ability to score that they have, now with the added advantage of having Blatche in the lineup, they've got some inside scoring potential as well. So they're balanced. There's the starting lineup for Croatia.
Unusual for a Slavic team. They've incorporated and naturalized an American, Oliver Lafayette.
Well, Oliver Lafayette, tremendous experience, will be playing in Greece next year. He's at the top level of European basketball. He's played in Mexico. He's played around the world. And this starting lineup for the Philippines is going to have to counter that with L.A. Tenario at the point. You know, it's a key matchup for me. And but for me, how many minutes can Blanchette play? The Croatians can run 3 or 4 guys at him. If he can play minutes, they're going to have consistent inside threat.
Gabe Norwood is an outstanding defender, and it remain to be seen if one of the matchups we'll see today is Norwood matched up against Bojan Bogdanovich.
Well, and Bogdanovich there, as you see, number 7, leads this team in scoring, leads this team in shot attempts. As long as they get balance, they can afford that if they get balanced scoring from the inside.
And of course, when you talk about Croatia, one of the great attractions of this team will be Dario Saric, one of the young players scheduled to go to the NBA probably a couple of years.
Well, first round draft pick bound for Orlando. He's going to spend next year in Turkey with his get out. He'll be NBA bound. But for years, 20 points, 11 rebounds in the Under-19 World Championships. He's been touted around as a talented player. He definitely is.
The lion's share of the shots by Croatia will be taken by Bojan Bogdanovich, going next year to the Brooklyn Nets, and Rani Del Campo, a veteran, a great elbow shooter, will be shooting the lights out for the Philippines. Interesting that Jason Castro is not starting. Normally he would be the starter. In the Asia Cup, he was the top point guard in the all-tournament team.
Yep.
However, he's got an Achilles soreness and an Achilles tendon in his right foot, and apparently that's enough for him to come off the bench.
Well, let's hope so, because he's so important to the balance and the scoring of this Philippines lineup. And the Lafayette one is interesting for me because the captain of the Croatian team, Rocco Ukic, vastly experienced, has been at major championships throughout his career. You know, Repessa's gone for that extra firepower maybe. With Lafayette, they'll be more up-tempo. They'll be able to get up and down the floor a little quicker.
And maybe a little speed on defense,
well,
although
yeah.
against L.A. Tenorio, you will not need that. Tenorio, at this point of his career, will not be very fast. But this is an interesting character in this tournament. Vincent "Shot" Reyes, 5-time PBA Coach of the Year. Interesting character, tremendous motivator. What about Jasmine Repesha?
Well, you can't say enough things about his experience. And I think they've put Repessa in charge of this national team because they genuinely believe this is their time. This is the maturity of this team. He's known a lot of these players throughout their careers. He's got a great assistant in Tabak, who's a tremendous defensive coach, vastly experienced. The Croatians believe that this team, with people like Saric coming into it, are genuine contenders here, and they mean genuine. They have that belief. But against the Philippines, you take them lightly, I think they'll shoot the lights out with this crowd behind them, and you can't underestimate the ability of the NBA quality of Andre Blatchette on the inside. That one-on-one matchup with Tomic will be key. They'll probably cancel each other out a little bit. Will the youngster Saric be a factor? He could be the X factor for this Croatian team.
And Japeth Aguilar will be starting with Blatche on the court. It'll be interesting to see. He'll do the jump, the honors of the jump with Ante Tomic, but it'll be interesting to see who guards who really plays center and who plays power forward here. Blatche can play both, of course. Ready for the jump. Philippines in blue, Croatia in white. The ball in the hands of Bogdanovich to start. Lafayette guarded by Tenorio.
Man-to-man defense, you'd expect that. I do think they'll have to zone him at times. Be interesting to see how they deal with the man-to-man.
Simon. He's guarded by Jeff Chen, a great shooter as well. Bogdanovich double team. Get the ball out of his hands quickly. Tomic. Inside, up and under. Patiently waits. Nope. 24-second violation.
Well, what a great statement here by the Philippines. First time down, 24 seconds, and Blatchette was the man who caused it. He showed hard, little trap, recovered, did a great job.
And the Philippines is known for the run and gun offense,
yeah,
not necessarily for the shutdown defense, so we'll see. Tenorio. Over to Blatche. Looks to pass. Dribble drives. Takes his own rebound. Over to Aguilar. No good. Simon with the rebound.
Well, I still think that's a good sign that Blatche wants to be aggressive. He's going to have to take his opportunities to score because they will spread it and shoot it. But good signs for the Philippines.
Tomic. Over to Saric, and he makes the first basket in Sevilla.
Well, that's the picking your poison moment for the Philippines. They play one-on-one with Tomic. They don't have to help, and they left Saric wide open. So, yeah, I think Andre Blatchette will take Tomic's one-on-one matchup. They'll be fine with that.
Aguilar is short. Tomic takes the rebound.
Well, they've had 2 good looks, so they'll be disappointed not to tick that scoreboard over the Philippines.
No look pass. He was lucky that Simon was in the right place. Here comes Tenorio, and he's fouled by Simon. Well, avoid the fast break.
Well, that's the thing that the Philippines want to run. Croatia know that. They're going to share the fouls out. They'll stop it as long as they get someone safe so there's no unsportsmanlike problem. But Even though Croatia have the first 2 points, they'd be unhappy, the Philippines, giving Sourish the open look. But they've been aggressive. They've been getting to the basket. That's a good sign for the Philippines.
Oreo, 30-year-old, plays for Barangay Ginebra. All the teams in the Philippines have sponsorship names. Blatche.
That's not where Blatche needs to be. He's going to take that mid-range jumper, but makes it.
It's one of those no, no, no until you make it. That ties the game at 2.
I like the fact that Blatche has got 2 looks at the first 3 shots. Getting touches is a good sign for them.
Foul by Gabe Norwood, whose father is the defensive coordinator and associate head coach at Baylor University's football team, American football team. So he's used to contact.
Yeah, he's definitely used to contact. Well, there's the mid-range jumper on that. And Homage was offering him it. Well, Blanchette took it, made it. He shoots a good percentage in the NBA in terms of his mid-range game.
3-pointer by Sourish, no good. There's a foul underneath, a little shove. Contact by Blatche, his first foul against Homage. Yeah. Blatche, of course, became a naturalized Filipino citizen in July.
That's a little easy for the official to call. The handful of shirt was a bit of a giveaway.
Little souvenir he wanted early in this tournament. Bogdanovich. They're running Tenorio through screens ragged. Here comes the step back and the shot by Oliver Lafayette.
Well, we watched practice yesterday. They work a lot on the reacting to the switch, and Lafayette just found that a little too easy.
Look at the dribbling by Blatche. Oh my goodness. No good at the end. Sourish with the rebound. I'm not sure if the Philippines is rotating when they lose their man.
No, there's the problem they've had in preparation. They've given up too many open looks, and teams are shooting too good percentages against them, and you can see why they've got a problem. A little bit of organization required if they're going to switch or if they're going to show hard on those screens.
The PBA, of course, the Philippine Basketball Association, plays just about year-round. Oh, what a shot by Tenorio.
Wow.
Good defense by Lafayette.
Well, he gets hot. Tenorio's not out there to score a lot of points. His field goal percentages are not the same as some other guys out there. Good sign taking. I like the way the Philippines have started this game.
They've tied it at 4. Homage inside to a cutting Sourish. Great play.
Yeah, and too easy. He cut from the weak side. No rotation, no reaction to the ball movement. And the Philippines have just got to make a statement defensive. It may have to be some zone. It may have to be a different look, because that's going to give too many easy points to Croatia.
The lefty Chen in the corner, well guarded by Simon. Hits the rim, back in Tenorio's hands. But he had to dribble out as Sourish and Homage were in the paint. Norwood takes the jumper. Fast break opportunity, Sourish. No numbers for him, and a foul by Tenorio. Tenorio, one of the veterans in this team, as you see, Reyes, a tremendous motivator. Has an enormous staff of players beyond the 12 and assistant coaches and team consultants.
Well, they had part of their preparation, Asia Cup. A lot of those guys who aren't in uniform for the competition. It's a nice touch in some ways if you can keep them in the program, keep them part of it, as Simon makes it off the glass.
Nice lefty drive. And Croatia is now up by 4.
Again, another too easy. It's too easy a look. It's too easy a shot for this level.
They're giving Aguilar a shot, a mid-range shot if he wants it. Here comes Blatche against Homage. Short. And Sourish with yet another defensive rebound.
You like the way Croatia is just forcing the Philippines to play offense, not just run and get shots.
Nice little strip by Blatche. Sourish drove by. Tenorio. Chen just cannot get free. Here comes an offensive foul by Aguilar on a moving screen. Chen cannot get free for a shot at this point of the game. And we have our first timeout. Croatia is up 8-4. 2 turnovers for Croatia, only 1 for the Philippines.
It's just substitutions. I think one of the referees sort of misinterpreted that, gave the timeout signal, but only had the substitutions and Jason Castro in the game. This will be a key look to see how healthy he is.
Normally the starter. Sourish trying to establish a presence, and Mark Pingris in the game commits a foul.
Well, again, that's that matchup at the 4. They can go one-on-one on the inside. Whoever's at the 5, Blatche can guard him. And Sourish is the man at the moment. They're really milking that 4 spot. This will be would have been his 6th point already. He wanted the 2. Well, if they're going to give him shots, they've got to give him the 2.
He played for Cibona in Croatia and the Euro Cup in Cibona.
One referee wiped off the 2, but Sourish finds himself at the free throw. I can't understand. I don't think they're in the team foul situation. No, they're not.
No.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're already in the penalty. That was the 5th foul, so my mistake. Didn't realize, just didn't get the scoreboard didn't tick over for us there.
And the first by Pingris as he makes the first free throw. 78% free throw shooter, averaging 19 points, almost 10 rebounds. He's averaging in his Croatian league almost a double-double, with 4 assists. A little bit wild with the ball so far, almost 3.5 turnovers per game. But a tremendous player, a great promise, and as you can see, he can play also multiple positions.
Multiple positions. Has a beautiful stroke.
Here comes Castro with that right Achilles soreness. Blatche over to the undersized Pingris, who always gives up inches.
This is where Blatche needs it. This is where he needs it. Needs to go to work right here. Nice pass.
Pingris is not fouled by Sourish. There was some contact. I guess it was verticality in that play.
Pingris should have taken up, got up straight away. Had the moment. By the time he delayed, always going to be a problem for him.
Sourish double team. Castro shows up. Goes off the hands of Castro.
And as long as they rotate away from the ball, little action like that, the double team, they're sending people to try and take Croatia out of what they're trying to run is what this Philippine team needs to do. It's just off the ball, they're not active, and that's Sourish in particular who created opportunity, that guy cutting hard down the middle.
Bogdanovich under the basket, it's good.
Still too easy.
Set play off the inbound. That shouldn't happen if you're the Philippines.
Not when you have that many coaching stuff. Someone should have scattered that out of bounds play.
Nouriel with a floater. Tomic loses the ball, and it's off his hands. It's back in the Philippines. Rocha is asking for a foul. Another substitution, Paul Lee. Don't be misled necessarily by the names in the back. His name is Paul Lee Dalistan, but everybody in the Philippines knows him as Paul Lee. Jeffrey Chen, ineffective so far, takes a seat.
Well, Paul Lee, one of the newer guys on the team, can be a very effective three-point shooter.
Ooh, clumsy Euro step by Blatche, and it's no good. And Blatche now has missed 4 of 5 shots. Yeah, inside, Bogdanovich, no good. Blatche with a rebound. Here comes Castro. Now you can see why this offense is very different with Castro on the court. But Blatche can't make the shot.
Well, I was expecting Blatche to try and find some space in the low post, try and get to the ring. He can out-athlete people. He's a great athlete. At the moment, you got to say Reyes and the Croatians have said, yeah, you can take that 14-footer. We don't mind. You make the first, we don't care. And that's all they're offering him at the moment.
Naturalized by a bill filed in the Philippine Senate, approved by President Aquino. He actually had to go to the Senate personally for the ceremony in which he was naturalized. The Philippine Senate. Bogdanovich, step back shot, it's good. Wow. Again, Norwood with a great defensive effort. Bogdanovich even better. Step back out of bounds 3.
You can't guard that, you can pressure it, whatever, but Bogdanovich, when it's going, they drop.
It's an 11-point lead for Croatia, and there's a foul by Oliver Lafayette as Nouriel drove to the basket with a strong hand. You still have essentially, you still have the entire starting 5 for Croatia.
Coach Reyes is one of those coaches. He gets his lineups and his units, and he normally gives them a chance as a group, and then he will start to rotate. The rotations are pretty fixed by now. Ukic will be in soon, I'm pretty sure.
Sourish is stretching out as well.
Sourish will get time. His experience is valuable on this team.
Nice screen by Pingris. Blatche misses. The ball in the hands of Lee, and there's a foul, a second quick foul by Oliver Lafayette, and quickly Rocha Lenny Ukic comes into the game. He is the captain of the team. He's the second oldest player on this team.
Wow, he's vastly experienced. He's played at every single age group for Croatia. He's had NBA experience, EuroLeague experience. He is just a quality point guard. But going back to the Philippines, Blatche just is he's dying from the jump with a jump shot at the moment. And it's just, there's enough guys on this Philippines lineup who can shoot the jump shot. They don't need a fifth guy who could give them some inside balance.
But they don't seem to post him up,
They don't post him up. And Homage can be a little bit prone foul trouble against a good inside guy making moves around the ring. And they haven't had a look at it, and then have turned it over.
Intercepted by Bogdanovich. Bad pass, but Simon corrals it. And a foul by Norwood.
And that's a poor, weak foul, especially at any time. You're in the penalty. That's just letting Croatia tick the scoreboard over far too easily.
Quickly, we see Ronnie Del Campo come in for the Philippines. He is a good shooter, not a classic three-point shooter, but a great elbow shooter. He's also rugged. He's also tough. He really sets the tone for the Philippines in terms of toughness in this team. As Blatche is not having an easy time with Saric's defense.
Whoever's guarding him, whether it's because they can't create the angle to feed him and he has to come out to receive the pass, whether it's just a design not to post him up, he's not receiving the ball in areas where he would have an advantage.
Kruno Simon makes both free throws. He's a great shooter, and we have the first timeout now as Croatia beats the Philippines 17-4 at the start of Group B action in Seville.
Well, the Philippines, if they're drawing up offensive plays, fine. I would like to, you would hope to see number 11 in the block, give him the ball, and then move off it, and then let's get our shooters the ball to shoot the ball. Down the deep, I think the real issue is down the defensive end. They're giving up. They don't seem to have decided how to pick their poison here. Where are we going to play? Where are we going to not let them shoot the ball? And where are we going to let them? You can't ever steal with someone as Bogdanovich's quality in terms he's going to make some shots throughout the game. But they're just off the ball. They're very inactive. They get things when they trap around the ball because they have some quick guards, but they don't rotate very well around it. That's going to happen to you because he's that good. He's not going to make all those shots because you just got to keep playing that level of defense. And with 1 second on the shot clock, he's going to shoot that and it makes some. But they have got to try and change this game with their defense, and they've got to get Blatche in the post.
Let's see what Castro can do with Ukic guarding him now. As the Philippines resumes play, down 13. Paul Lee, tough shot. Pingris, nice pass, nice dish, nice floater. As Sourish was guarding Pingris.
Well, that's one way to try and deal with the issue around the block. Move Blanchette right outside and take him out of the offense. But he just picked some pop then. And they've got to then penetrate and see if they can get things off that dribble.
And a second foul by Pingris before Bogdanovich grabbed it. Again, they may set the tone, but I'm not sure the bigs for the Philippines can get into foul trouble.
No,
this is not a tall team.
No. So man-to-man at the moment, the Croatians, we're reading that. We'll counter that. We'll post our 3 up. We'll post our 2 up, and we'll get some options out of that. The Philippines have to make an adjustment. Otherwise, this will just roll on.
Bogdanovich had a lights-out shooting performance 2 seasons ago. This year, he was sort of more up and down.
Well, he had a great Eurobasket last year. He had a tough EuroLeague season in terms of consistency. But for Croatia, last Eurobasket, 18 points a game in Slovenia. Only player in double figures. He really was their offensive spark. And he is key. He's majorly key for them. And that's why he's going to the NBA.
80% shooter with Fenerbahce in the TBL in Turkey, and in the EuroLeague an 82% free throw shooter. We have a foul. It's Simon. Kruno Simon on Blatche.
That's probably the first time Blatche has posted up. Croatia commit the foul, that puts them in the penalty too.
They've been going after Blatche since he was a member of the Washington Wizards. The original objective of the Philippine Federation was to bring JaVale McGee, who was his teammate then. Step back shot by Dalistan. Paul Lee misses. Simon with the rebound. Up front to Ukic. Loses the handle. Over to the corner, Bogdanovich. Open three. Great rebound by Sourish. And he stepped.
Well, again, though, the problem is the defense away from the basketball just turns off, loses concentration. Sourish, defense turns his head, doesn't see him. He moved. That time he got the offensive rebound before he got the cut to the basket.
Damien Reyes now moving on to the Indiana Pacers, a 2-year deal.
That tells you the depth this Croatian team have when they bring in Reyes, like third in, fourth in off the bench.
He, of course, with Paul George's absence this coming year, will have a few shots to make and take. Here comes Paul Lee. Wow, going left, right-handed shot against the glass.
Well, again, he's aggressive, isn't he? He wants to score, wants to put points on the board. Second time he's had the chance to penetrate. Second time Philippines tick the scoreboard over.
Reyes guarded by Pingris. Sourish against Ocampo. He really can muscle Ocampo down low.
I know the age range is the wrong way around. Tough shot. We got the foul on it, but going back to that post up, the age range is the other way around, but it was like man and boy time in the block there. You know, there's not many guys who can muscle Ocampo in the way that Sourish did then. Ocampo is experienced, 32 years old. He's been undersized all his international career, but always is effective. He got scored in the post there by the 20-year-old.
What a great player he was at the Asia Cup. Iran was in this tournament, finished first. The Philippines finished second. The Philippines is beginning to consistently show and play in these regional tournaments. Jason Castro is 28 years old, born in Pampanga in the Philippines. And in the Asia Championships, 12 points, 3 assists. And the leader of that team. Ukic, the floater, long distance, it's good. And with less than 1 minute to go, the Philippines now extends to a 14-point lead.
Well, Croatia have hit the ground running in this World Cup. Contributions across the floor. Open three is off.
No good by Ocampo. An awkward one-handed shot, but that's his style. Trying to post up Sourish, but far away from the basket.
And this is what Reyes and the rest of this Croatian perimeter give them. Reyes stands out. You can't step off him too much. So therefore, the help has an issue about where to guard.
They waved up the 24-second violation. The ball's in play. Here comes Castro, just in time. No good. That's the end of the first quarter. Croatia leading the Philippines by 14, scoring 57% on two-point field goals, and making only 1 out of 5 from three. The Philippines yet to make a three. They're now shooting only 21% from the field.
Wow, it's a difficult first period for the Philippines. Those field goal percentages are going to really hurt you. But more importantly, we talked about it right at the beginning of the game. Letting a team shoot 78% from the two-point range against you. You know, wide open foul line jump shot from Sourish. We're probably going to see the flash that he cuts down the middle after this replay of the same shot. That 4 spot just killed them. It absolutely killed them. Offensive boards for Sourish. They really do have to make a decision about how they're going to play their defense. This group is going to be an incredibly tough and tight group. Now, Croatia may sweep it, maybe, but they've got to beat Argentina, which is going to be a hell of a game.
Well, that's going to happen tomorrow morning, first game. So Croatia will have 24 hours to rest and prepare. Argentina will play the middle game tonight and essentially will not have any time to practice tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we look at the top scorers, Sourish with 8, Bogdanovich with 7, and Andre Blatche missing 6 of 7 shots.
And of those 6, 5 of those 6 that he missed were from the perimeter. He had one little move to the inside he came up short with. I don't believe they need him to shoot jump shots. If they want to set him to the perimeter and take people out the middle to open up penetration, as they did on that move by Paul Lee, that's fine. But let him take mid-range jump shots. If you'd have said to me before the game, the guy taking most jump shots was going to be Blatche before the game, I would have not believed you. And so it's a worry for me if that's going to be their offensive threat, but they can't let a team like Croatia shoot 78%. They've got to make a change defensively to change the tempo of the game and give themselves a chance of some easy looks.
You're listening to Mark Clark, former UK national team head coach. My name is Alvaro Martin. We welcome you to Sevilla, España, to the start of Group B action. The Philippines back in the World Cup. They hosted the 1978 Mundo Basket, the World Championships. Of course, back then you were the host. You didn't have to qualify. The last time they qualified was Mundo Basket in '74 in San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's 40 years ago. Paul Lee misses an open three. Normally he knocks them down. Here comes Ukic.
You like that play though. They drew the defense, got an open shot. That's what they can do. Live with what you have. Take what you've got. That's a strength. That's what they have to shoot.
Damir Marcotta is in the game now for Croatia. He takes the ball. Reyes with a three. No good. Rebounded by Blatche. Here comes Castro. And he's fouled precisely by Marcotta, Damir Marcotta.
I understand the rule. I understand how they did justify the rule, etc. But that's a foul to just stop fast break basketball. Crowds don't want to see that. They want to see the fast break. We have to find a way to deal with that. It's a very difficult thing for officials and rule makers to deal with, but that just stops the game.
Well, maybe do it before you cross half court. If you're past the half court, that's just a regular foul.
But sorry, they got to the three-point line. They had a 4-on-3 situation. Yeah, a chance for an exciting offensive play. As a coach, it's exactly what I'd be telling Marcotta to do. That's what the rule says. But it's disappointing sometimes.
You game plan for that with that in mind.
Absolutely.
14-point lead, 9 minutes to go in this first half. Open shot by Sourish, very open, but no good. Rebounded by Castro.
Sourish is not Sourish when it comes to shooting the ball from that range, so.
The Blur attacks the basket. He's blocked by Reyes. They call him the Blur. You can see why with that burst of acceleration.
Disappointingly for the Philippines, that was a great penetration. No one moved on the perimeter. No one could see the ball and give him an option to pass. In the end, he had to go up.
Blatche against Marcotta. They rotate the ball. Lee almost lost it. A lot of dribbling. He attracts everybody's attention. Castro with an open shot. In and out. Rebounded and by Pingris, and there's a foul by Sourish.
That's gonna, if they can do that, penetrate and then kick. The closeout is a tough ask for any defense. It's a long closeout, and there's gonna be rebound opportunities. But they've got to share the ball, and the people away from the ball have to move. They have to expect the pass and be ready to knock the shot down.
Long shot, rebounded by Pingris. It's good.
Great work on the glass by Pingris. He was active from the weak side. They spread the floor really well.
His father's French, his mother's Filipino. His father now lives with his second wife in France, but he's here. He drove all the way from France to watch his son play as there's a foul by Paul Lee on Bogdanovich.
Well, Paul Lee's had an impact. Both ends of the floor. You know, he's and that's what Paul Lee does. So that's what you expect him to go in and do. That, and there are other people at the moment on the Philippine lineup not doing what they do every week. And
you saw Jong Wee Chico, one of the official assistant coaches for the Philippines, right next to Reyes. Here comes Ukic with a long three. It's good.
Can't leave him alone. Can't leave him alone. You can't go under screens. You've got to find a way of dealing with that.
And he lives in the half court. That's his habitat. Pingris driving left. Change to his right hand. And it's good.
It just goes to show the aggressive move to the hoop. Yep.
He plays center in the Philippines in the PBA. Very rugged, as we now see Junmar Fajardo on the court. And there's an offensive foul by Luka Sourish. A little bit too aggressive in posting up.
See, like Fajardo's came in for Blatche, and he's just going to work hard. He knows he's going to have maybe limited minutes, so why not go in there, bang around, cause things to happen. And Sourish just didn't get away with the elbow. Timeout by Croatia. Obviously, Rapesta doesn't like the little momentum shift there's been in the last couple of minutes.
They still lead the Philippines by 13.
And he's given up some penetrations in the last few minutes, and that's what he hasn't given up so far. And the Philippines have worked on that penetration. They've scored or they've kicked. They haven't made all the open shots, but they're getting open shots. And they're good enough shooters, they're going to start to knock those down.
And it's interesting to see how Reyes is getting a feel for this game in terms of his personnel.
Well,
I think there's a little bit less Blatche, a little bit more Paul Lee.
Yeah, and that's an interesting because this is Blatche's first real tournament with a team.
And this is a team that normally didn't play with a person like Blatche, especially on offense. So integrating him means modifying what Reyes has been doing all along with his team.
And like the guy he's replaced wasn't the same. The height wasn't the same. He was a very, very effective rebounder, very athletic. But he didn't come with the NBA profile, didn't come with the offensive options. He worked hard for this team and he fitted into the role. They're trying to get more out of maybe a more talented player. And that's not always easy for a coach. And it's not always easy for a group of players who for years have played in a particular way.
Ukic now will be guarded by a veteran, Jim Alapag. Very short point guard.
Shortest guy in the World Cup, is he, I think?
Yeah, in his last international tournament for the Philippines. Jeff Chen back on the court. De Ocampo drives in traffic. He's blocked. Ukic with a quick pass up front. But it goes out of bounds and it belongs to the Philippines. A rare fast break opportunity, but it really wasn't a high percentage fast break opportunity.
Well, I think Ukic saw it and, you know, if he was given it again, he wouldn't think he had the angle to make the pass. But that's a little bit of an indication of how, to an extent, what the Philippines have done in the last couple of minutes has changed a little bit of momentum of the game.
Alapag to De Ocampo. Rebounded by Marcota. Cross-court pass, Rudish. Open three.
That's what he has to shoot. That catch and shoot is what he's very good at. I mean, he shot 51% from the three-point line across last year's Eurobasket. Not a lot of shots. He just what he takes a very good percentage of them. Hasn't been overplayed either by Repressor in preparation for this tournament. No news of him carrying anything. He's just such a good shooter when he's got his feet set.
De Ocampo and Pingris are out. Blatche and Norwood are in. And for Croatia, Luka Babic is in for the first time in the game.
No, Croatia showing
traffic, big time traffic for Blatche. And he misses that shot.
Showing that 2-3 zone. Not sure they need to go to the zone, but Sourish just holding the middle. Blatche worked hard. At least he went to the hoop on that play.
And Sourish slowly getting into foul trouble. I believe that's his second personal foul.
There's the replay of the clutter around the basket, should we say. No real clear play.
The Kraken. That's the nickname. As he drives to the basket and makes a tough shot.
Wow, what a big impact. You know, let's talk about Blatche and all that stuff, but like the impacts of Fajardo off the bench. You want your bench players to come in and have impact, huge impact.
Babic with a left-handed three. In and out. They are 2 of 9 from behind the arc.
Chance to cut it to single figures. You can hear the crowd. It's noisy in here.
A long three by Norwood. No good. Rebounded.
Fajardo again goes off the
no good. And Blatche keeps missing.
The crowd live every single pass and shot, don't they?
Wow, what a shot by Marcota. No good. And the Philippines are beginning to have a little bit more success rebounding. Comes Blatche. Launches another one. Offline.
Why? But why does he settle for the mid-range jump shot?
And there's a foul by Junmar Fajardo.
He waved Fajardo away. Fajardo was in the block on the break, trying to get to the front of the ring. That's it. Blatche waved him away, and I thought, hey, he's going to put it on the floor now, really go to work. Settled for the jump shot. And at that time, he's guarded by Marcotta. And he should be able to get Marcotta deeper than that and get a shot he wants.
This past season, he was a PBA MVP, a member of the mythical first team, the all-PBA team, the all-defensive team, the most improved player. And listen to this, 14.5 rebounds with the Sam Mig San Miguel Beermen.
It's a great team.
Gotta love these names. Here comes Tomic, and a foul by Fajardo. Tomic had to pay the toll.
Again, you know, Blatche is, for me, if he just raises his level a little. Tomic just walked around him on the baseline. Fajardo came across, good foul, makes him go and earn it from the line. But Blatche has got talent. We're just not seeing it at the moment. I'm sure we will as this game develops. But Ante Tomic should not be able to take him baseline that simply.
Drafted in the second round of the NBA draft of 2008 by the Utah Jazz. They're still waiting for him to develop. They've got tremendous bigs in Utah, so getting a spot for him is just not easy.
Yeah.
Is that the only reason why he's not in the NBA?
Well, maybe with Tomic, I think he's such a big player in Europe. He's such a big factor for Barcelona. I don't know how that's going to really work for him. He needs to go and play in the NBA. He doesn't need to go in the NBA.
Alapag over to Jeff Chen. Blatche drives, shoots, and scores.
And that just underlines why haven't we seen that before. Great move, great finish. That's what he needs to bring that.
Ukic is trying to post up Alapag. There's a temptation by Croatia's outside players, the guards, to post up because the Filipinos are so much shorter. Inside out, Rudish. Norwood takes away the three-pointer, but he can't take away the two-pointer.
It's a great point you make there. They're almost trying to go too much to the fact they've got the mismatches down low. Just play.
Blatche loses a dribble, puts his head down, misses. The ball's in the hands of Norwood.
No reset on it.
Attack.
Who needs a reset?
Nice two-step. Excellent Euro step by Andre Blatche.
Oh, his last two baskets, straight to the hoop.
Maybe he learned that from Mirza Teletovic with the Brooklyn Nets.
Wow. No better man to learn it from, that type of move.
Playing a 2-3 zone is the Philippines.
Good to see the change. Good to see the change up. It's going to force Croatia to look at something different.
Beautiful passing, though, and a long-range shot.
It's a 2-3 zone. The top two can't get sucked down. Both the top two of that zone ended up way below the foul line, and then that's just candy from the baby time for the guards from.
The missing man, Jeffrey Chen, with a three-pointer, and you know he had to take a long-range three-pointer by his own standards.
Whatever happens now, the Philippines are right in this. They may trail by 11. The change of defense, the way to change the tempo.
Oh, what a pass. What a beautiful pass inside. And Marcotta is now finishing with 4 points.
Back of the defense, just watch the penetration, though. Just watch the penetration.
Tomic is the leading assist man for Croatia with 4. Norwood. Chan again. In and out. Great box out by Croatia. They just let that ball almost bounce.
They get the coaching drill out.
Ukic going left. Slapped out by Blatche. Rudish off the bounce between his legs. Short again. Tomic with a rebound. Oh, stolen by Chan.
Very fortunate.
Alapag lines up a three. Put back by Norwood. The Filipinos are going wild.
Isn't that Philippine basketball, though? It was messy. They got the steal, then they got numbers down the floor. Early shot, offensive rebound. Let's try and break the game up.
The Gilas are now within 11. Tomic, left-handed hook shot.
Better
Nice defense.
Better defense. Forced him one-on-one. Everyone else stayed at home. No one helped. Good sign for the Philippines now. You don't want Blatche out there, though. Unless he's going to penetrate.
Point center.
That's what it looks like.
Against Tomic, short. Rebounded by Blatche. You can take it around, and there's a foul by Tomic. Blatche is a shooting machine. He's missed now 10 of 13 shots. He has taken 13 of 40 shots.
Should be free throws for Andre Blatche at the moment.
He's a little shaken up, it seems. Or maybe a little winded.
He looks like he's sucking air a little bit. Although he seems to be, it should be 2 free throws.
No, he's definitely favoring the right leg. Meanwhile, Tomic blocks the shot by Pingris.
I thought that the table had the 5th foul marker up, but that was the 4th foul. So table were a little bit ahead of themselves.
Bogdanovich with a sweet drop step against Jeffrey Chen, and there's a timeout by the Philippines. He now has 9 points to lead Croatia. The Philippines is led by Pingris' 6, as well as Andre Blatche. We'll see what happens with Blatche's timeout here. Croatia leading the Philippines by 13.
Well, the last play, I'm sure we're going to get a look at it at some point. The Philippines went away from what had just been working. They'd put the 2-3 zone on the floor. They'd taken away the penetration options. And with the offensive rebounds that are keeping the Philippines in it, because that's been broken play, the rebound opportunities for Croatia are a lot less because they're just shooting a very decent percentage. But for the first time in a long time, they allowed someone to go to the basket. So the last 4 points for Croatia, the Marcotta under the basket, the Bogdanovich baseline penetration, are just people away from the ball sleeping.
I'm just thinking, if Croatia's had a number of open looks from the 3-point line, they've only made 3 of 12.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the Philippines should consider itself a little bit lucky in that sense, that may not continue. These are open shots they've missed.
Yeah, a lot of open shots. But at the end of the day, they've missed a few 3-pointers recently since the Philippines have gone to the zone. Well, again, the Philippines can't stop everything. They have to pick their poison. They're getting killed with little inside cuts, little post-ups. They're getting killed mid-range. The one place they are not getting killed is from the 3-point line. Let's see if Croatia can make some of those threes before they come out of that zone.
Looks
and
like
that's a worrying sign if he has a problem. Fajardo did a great job, but they need Blatche for a lot of minutes, not just today, for the next 5 days.
Dexter Asteron is the strength and conditioning coach for the Philippines. Is taking a look at him right now. Here comes Alapag, guarded by Ukic. So now you have Junmar Fajardo back in the game. Norwood, the pass led him to the baseline, but there was Sourish. Launches a 3.
Oh,
it's
my
good,
word.
and the foul!
I was just about to say to you, oh, there's not a lot of movement here. They're going to do something.
Alapag wants the copy of this video, and Chart Reyes loves it. The team logo for this team, for the Gilas, or the slick or elegant ones, is Laban Pilipinas, which means fight Philippines. And just to get to this tournament, they have to fight, and they're not going to stop against their next 5 opponents.
Well, they're back down to a single-digit margin. You know, they put the 27 up before the throw went in. They were very confident on Alapag making it. But they've let Bogdanovich go inside again. Better rotation. They couldn't get the board, though.
And a whistle. He steps on the line. Another turnover for Croatia.
Again, that's what wasn't there. Bogdanovich before went baseline, no help. This time, Fajardo in the game, steps across early, and then forces that to happen. That's a great job. And the scoreboard's finally ticked over to make it a 9-point game. Single digits. Momentum going into the half could all be Filipino.
Last minute of the first half. Inside out, Norwood the 3. No good. Rebounded.
You still like the option.
Babbage.
It's some coaches, some teams will look at it and say, oh, that's a low percentage. But for the Philippines, that's good for them. That's the way they have to play.
11-second differential between clocks. Sourish posting up. Pingris.
Fulsome baseline and go and help.
Tough shot by Ukic. No good. Rebounded by
Fajardo. Story of the first half. Story of the second quarter has been his contribution.
Chen, quick 3. Oh, what a shot by Jeff Chen. His second of the first half. At the end of the first half, it is a 6-point game, and Croatia looks a little unsteady. Busloads of Filipinos coming from Madrid with a population of 23,000 Filipinos. and they're enjoying what they're seeing.
Well, look at those stats now. It's still that great percentage from the inside, but the zone forced the more perimeter shots. They've got back in the game with a much better return themselves because they've run and got shots in transition, and they've gone back to playing Philippine basketball. They've closed up the gap on the glass. You still like the 7 assists, but all those 7 assists were all on the inside, little passes around. 8 turnovers for Croatia. With the guard skill they have, you've got to credit the quickness of that Philippine lineup, and I still put it down to the rotations with that zone. It was very, very effective. Great move by Coach Reyes. Put the zone on the floor. That sparked the comeback.
And look at the leaders in scoring, rebounding, and assists. One final note, Aguilar Lafayette, 2 quick fouls out of the game, and then he wasn't really put back afterwards.
Well, I think Rapessa just decided, and for a while they were fine, but their zone just changed just the feel of the game a little bit, and that's all it needed.
Images of this first half. Ante Tomic, early, feeding his players, feeding Dario Saric for an open jumper from the elbow.
Well, and that little play here summed up where Croatia were very effective. Not just about posting up the smaller guy, but sharing the ball between the bigs. This was the worst thing that could have happened to Blatche in the first half. Making the first jump shot, worst thing that could have happened. He then missed the next 6 and then realized, hey, I can get to the basket, and he made layups, and he was effective after that.
And we also remember he hurt his knee. As we see the step back shot by Lafayette, he makes the bucket. Lafayette ended up with only 2 points.
And there's that exactly what we were talking about before. The little flash cut, 4 to 5. They get the good look. There he's moving. No one sees him, and no one adjusts. And Saric, just a quality fundamental move. But that's where Croatia were very effective. And the zone, it may be hiding up some deficiencies in terms of defensive rotation, but at least it's putting the players in the better areas to protect the ring.
Paul Lee was also a factor in the turnaround.
Well, Paul Lee coming in was aggressive. Philippine basketball is about the aggression, the attack of the basket, kick to the open shot, and that's what they got. They got moved because they went back to being Filipino basketball players.
Pingris was a factor as well. Undersized, he drove to the basket. He did exactly what perhaps Blatche should have tried.
Absolutely, and when Blatche saw that and he saw Fernando, I'm sure we're going to get a look in a moment of the 2 layups that he made.
That's one of them.
And then everybody starts to be a factor. Fernando go into the ring, trying to attack that Croatian defense. And here's play for me that summed it up. He just missed the jump shot before that, and he just showed us what he has.
Tough shot by Reyes, driven out of the 3-point line. He gets a little closer, open shot. Nothing easy for them towards the end of the first half.
You've got to like the fact they made him dribble the ball, because Reyes, great spot-up shooter. Another example, takes it up off the dribble. That's exactly what the Philippines, they're playing Croatia, one of the favored teams, and now they get a little confident. They start to make shots from the perimeter.
Alapag with a 3 after the Jeffrey Chan 3, the putback by Norwood.
And it's confidence and momentum breeds and just moves across the team. And then the huge 3 by Alapag later in the second period with the M1 foul. The emotion of the crowd, they're feeding off that. This is it right now. He makes that. He's gonna. If you go back to him, he's now flat on the floor. You're gonna get a great look at it now. Steps back, wants the screen, way outside, gets hit, slides, hits the floor hard, gets up, makes the extra, and then everyone starts to feel it.
I mean, he struggled. Jeff Chen struggled at the beginning of the game, and then he found his range. 2 threes, again, opportune threes, adrenaline-boosting threes, and Philippines now is down 6 to Croatia. First half players, Dario Saric, Ante Tomic. Look at Saric cutting to the basket. Beautiful play. This is when Croatia extended to about a 17-point lead, and it looked like the Philippines had no answers.
No, they didn't, and they didn't have answers to those types of plays. Saric, 8 points, 5 rebounds. He's a young man in a big man's body. Look at that post up, and that's against a veteran. Great use of his body, off the glass, tremendous performance by Saric. And we said before the game, could he be the X factor? Because the 4 spot is an area that they could really exploit. And while they're in man-to-man, he looked what he is, a first-round draft pick in the NBA. He's quality, he can play.
What a wonderful first half. Later on, we'll have, of course, Argentina and Puerto Rico, and finally Greece and Senegal. Players of the first half, Andre Blatche with 8 rebounds and 6 points. Looks like a double-double, but he hasn't been efficient.
Well, that's the thing. We said previously, worst thing that happened to him in the whole game was to make the jump shot. And guys are like that. You know, he is a good basketball player. But is he a player that you want to take jump shots? You want him to do this. Mark Cotter can't guard him athletically. Real good athleticism, soft touch off the glass. Oh, and he's found, all of a sudden he's found, hey, this is where I should be playing. 2-3 feet from the hoop. Soft little kiss off the glass. Good response from him, because he must have been frustrated.
Of course, the Philippines has now used 11 players. Only Gary David hasn't played, as Croatia has only used 10. The youngster, Mario Hezonja, very young, 19 years old. We don't expect him to play much unless the game is open in one dimension or the other. We will then join you in about 10 minutes with the start of the third quarter. The Philippines trail Croatia by 6. Catch the best of live international basketball on Live Basketball TV. As a matter of fact, my broadcast partner, Mark Clark, you'll hear him do both play-by-play and analysis. You had the chance to watch the Philippines recently play in the Asia Cup.
Well, they played in the Asia Cup with half this team, and the guys that, as you mentioned earlier in the game, are still here with the group. They've stayed with the program. Great opportunity for Coach Reyes to look at some younger players. It was also a great opportunity for people like Paul Lee to be a bigger leader and a factor on the team. And you could see the benefit that they've had with the way that he did a job in that second quarter. And I think that surprised Coach Reyes, because his team came out, got what they wanted. And a little change up, a little zone, has taken Croatia out their rhythm.
You sense that Coach Reyes runs a tight ship, let's just put it that way. He's sort of at that old Yugoslav school where the coach truly is in complete command of the team. What is he telling this team right now?
Well, I would hope he's telling this team that we don't have to change what we're doing offensively because we're getting good looks. He's got to back his team to do it. What he really has to do is stop this penetration at the defensive end because they're living off that penetration. They're getting open looks out of it. One-on-one, they have to contain their man.
They did try the zone on a couple of Philippine possessions, but they didn't stick to it.
No, and the Philippines broke it down. Whether it's a man or a zone, they have to keep their man in front of them, get their angle correct. When they close out, if the rule is to force to the side, then force them to the side. And you know where your help's got to come from. But they've been beaten on the dribble too easy on those long closeouts. So I think if he's going to go man-to-man, play them one-on-one. You don't have to overhelp, and you remove those long closeouts because the Philippines have really exploited those in that second quarter.
The Philippines looking for its first World Championship, in this case a World Cup victory, since 1978 when Mundo Basket was played in Manila. These teams have never faced each other before. Croatia in 2 prior World Championships has a record of 9-5. Ended up 3rd in Canada in 1994. And of course, you remember that the team that played the final game in Barcelona 1992 in the Olympics was precisely the Croatian team, just a year after the Republic of Croatia, the new Croatia, was founded after the breakup of the old Yugoslavia. Mark Clark, Alvaro Martin with you. Bogdanovich with a drive. Beautiful pass. But the rim got in the way, and it's off the rim. It belongs to the Philippines.
A lot of palms up from the Croatians. Look like the referee's got it completely right to me.
And I have to say, the refereeing crew here is keeping things under control. The coaches are sitting down. Yeah. The players are not complaining too much. It's a clean game.
And as we always say, never have to mention them. They're obviously doing a good job.
Alap to open the second half. Pingris to open the second half as well. So a few changes in the lineup. No changes for Croatia. Norwood, tough shot. Great defense by Bogdanovich.
It's too static, the Philippines. They couldn't break it down defensively. Lafayette in the game's going to help that for Croatia.
Missed shot. He's got 2 points as Sourish fell to the ground on contact with Pingris. No call. Hesitation. Chen with a fake. Beautiful fake. And the 3. Bruno Simon must be getting the hook out of the side of his cheek. He got hooked by that fake.
Wow. I don't like the feel that Croatia are giving us here at the start of this third quarter. They look a little flat. They're not really sure why the game has developed the way it has. Someone's got to spark and better rotation away from the ball.
Alapak with a hesitation again and a foul before the shot. The other thing is you're watching Bruno jump on the fake when the shooter is significantly smaller than he is. There's no need for that.
None need at all. He's not going to block it. He shouldn't take the fake, full stop, regardless of the size, regardless of whatever. And it's just, the Croatian feel now isn't, they look like they've been taken out of their rhythm and they don't look comfortable.
Norwood had a shot, but Sourish showed up, flashed him, and he decided to pass the ball outside. Chen guarded by Simon, the lefty. Couple of dribbles to the right, but that's about all he'll do with his right hand. Blatche, oh no, shoots. He had to, and instead of the 24-second violation, it's Homage with a rebound.
But the Blatche in the second quarter would have put that on the floor and attacked the basket.
Homage, open shot from the right elbow. It's good. Ante Homage taking a shot. He really wasn't looking for offense. He was looking to pass in the first half.
But the great thing there, they just reversed it. Sourish to Homage. You know, the 4 and 5 combination, it's been very effective.
Travel by Chen.
Indecision kills you all the time. Indecision. The Philippines have one way to win this game as we get a replay of the inside combination, Sourish and Homage.
I think they should put them on the same side of the floor.
They should definitely pass the ball to them, spread it, and let them two make the decision. They're making better decisions than anybody else at the moment.
Lafayette, as the Philippines is playing a 2-1-2 zone. Here comes Bogdanovich. The shot no good. Homage, nice cut by Bogdanovich, and Pingris was screened by his own teammate. He couldn't get to the appointment on time.
But they didn't adjust, did they? The rebound went to the other side of the floor, and they're still outside the keyway on this side, and just got to stay active away from the basketball.
Alapag, nice bounce pass to Chen. Rebounded by Bogdanovich. Now it's Croatia who runs. Simon, a bad pass by Bogdanovich. Had to reach back for it. It's a turnover. The 9th for Croatia.
So Repesa's going to like what he saw apart from the actual turnover in terms of what he got down the other end. He got rotation. He got the defensive rebound. He had the chance to score. And he got his open look. They've steadied the ship, should we say, but I'm not sure why the Philippines have got a little indecisive.
Open three by Alapag. Rebounded by Simon. Here comes Cruno. Gathers the ball. Drives baseline. Oh, what a shot. Beautiful shot.
Slav Simon got size. He's got the size to make that move. They gave up the baseline again. The help's got to come early. They've got to force the Croatians to the three-point line.
6 points, 5 rebounds for Simon. Chen pursued by Bogdanovich. Oh no, Blatche was going to attempt the three. He drives to the basket. It's a foul!
And one.
And a basket. Nice concentration by Blatche to keep his balance with one arm extended to make this basket.
Apologies for anyone watching this. We could just put on a tape recording at the moment. Blatche put it on the floor, attacked the ring.
Didn't we hear that before?
I think we've heard it before.
From Coach Clark?
Well, I think you probably heard it from Coach Reyes if you had him mic'd up. He's probably sitting there saying, do that till they stop you, do it.
As there's a conference on the court. Basket and one shot. They're just clearing up. That's a Portuguese referee, Fernando.
Blatche
Rocha.
is still limping. A little carry of that leg. He's still feeling it.
Well, you know, he received his citizenship on July, right? They win this game, he will get a statue. He'll be a national hero. I mean, he and the rest of the Gilas. I mean, this is a team that I think has been motivated by their coach to think that they can achieve great things in this tournament, that they have absolutely nothing to lose, and they can win. So for Croatia right now, it's a time to settle down, play their game, as you say, and when they do get these open shots, which they didn't make in the first quarter, in the first half, they need to knock them down.
Well, it is a game of statistics, and you look at the statistics of Bogdanovich, of Simon, of Lafayette. You give them a number of shots, they're going to make a number of shots, and that should be enough. As long as they, as we said at the half, they have to contain penetration. If they do that, they won't have to score a lot of points because that'll take away both the penetration and the open looks on the kick off the penetration.
Croatia with a 6-point lead. But Bogdanovich, nice runaround pass to Homage. Is he going to shoot? Up and under. Stripped by Blatche. Here comes Blatche. Hit by Bogdanovich and fouled. You get the sense that Homage doesn't use whatever strength and size he has to go towards the basket.
Homage has enough moves to get past the defense there. He has enough options. I'm not sure he has the confidence once.
Just to go hard.
Yeah, he won't. It's almost he struggles to score through contact at times, and that looked like one of those moments then.
And there's contact there.
They're going to call offensive foul?
I believe so, as they walk back towards the Croatian side. It's Andre Blatche.
Yep.
Shoulder, classic shoulder to chest contact. Again, you can say that there was a little theatrics on the part of Sourish, but he got to the spot on time.
No, Sourish did a great job, and Lafayette really made it happen by appearing, so there was no direct baseline move after that, so he had to try and work his way out.
The lefty Simon, tough shot, no good. Homage, stripped by Blatche. And here comes Alapag.
It's never a good sign when Ante Tomic starts to look at the referee for help. Never a good sign for him.
Alapag inside, Pingris, a nice fake. No good. Long toss to Bogdanovich. He's a three-point threat. Blatche finally gets out there. Beautiful hand by Norwood. It would have been a bucket by Tomic.
Well, there's a sign again of the difference in this Philippines defense now. In the first half, that's a layup for Tomic because the guy away from the ball has stopped playing. Great hands, great reaction. Tremendous change and adjustment that the Philippines have made.
He rotated in to deflect the pass. Boy, he collected a pass that was a little bit sloppy. Tomic just found it amongst his legs and put it in.
Yeah, had space, went to the hoop. Good execution by Croatia. That passing inside has been the real Achilles heel for the Philippines. They're still getting hurt by that aspect from Croatia.
Alapag really close to a backcourt violation. Here comes Blatche, a lot of dribbling against Sourish, and he's fouled before the shot. Too much dribbling?
Well, from a textbook perspective, yeah, you've gone beyond 2-3 dribbles, so the defense should really be able to deal with you. But he always had a half a step. He always had an advantage. The great thing is he didn't stop and shoot the mid-range jump shot. 2
fouls on Dario Saric. Lafayette, the only Croatian, with 3 fouls.
Be aggressive. You need to be aggressive. Great move. Oh, and he tried to pass it off.
Yeah. You thought he was going to go to the basket.
Oh, he had the hook if he wanted the hook. He has the step. Whoever's guarding him, he can get his shot.
Now, he did not join the Gilas Filipinas for a big part of their prep. As we see, Pingris attack the basket with his left hand. Cross-court pass to Bogdanovich.
Beaten on penetration. They've got to guard their man.
We're past the halfway point of the third quarter. Simon with a 3.
They're going to drop. He's talked about it being a statistics game, and they keep getting open looks. I still think the zone just matches up better on their shooting spots as well.
Maybe Chot Reyes is saving that for a little bit later.
Yeah, he's got to, if he stay close enough and make it a real factor in the fourth quarter.
Tough shot for Chen from the baseline. Oh, what a game. 7-point lead. Contact, offensive foul, the third on Dario Saric.
Look at the reaction from Saric. She knows how important it is. He's going to ask about it. Here's the replay. There's the contact. Yeah, a little bit of theatrics, but he had position. He had position, and he stopped with that position.
Well, Saric should know he did exactly the same thing on the other side of Blatche.
And it was the fact that before the contact happened, it was Pingris held his spot and just was solid, and therefore it has to be an offensive foul.
Alapag relieved now by Luis Alfred L.A. Tenorio. He started the game, Tenorio did. Against the zone here. In the crease, Tenorio misses. Rebounded, Tenorio puts it back, no good. Pingris.
Come out with it. Yep, there you go, smart decision.
Blatche launches a 3, it's gone! Oh my!
That's another one of those no moments.
The little ones in the post and the big ones behind the arc, go figure.
Yeah, it's just a great effort, and it's just fundamental stuff. Again, we talked about Croatia's great boxing out earlier on. They're losing their way here.
Rebounded by Gabe Norwood. Over to Pingris, the lefty, drives. Fakes. No shot, there was Aric. Deflected by Simone. Up front to Bogdanovich. Here's Blatche. Nice play by Bogdanovich.
Wow.
Croatia now extends to a 6-point lead with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And Chat Reyes knows how important that play was. There was some momentum to be had there for the Philippines. It would have been a 46-48 game. Instead of the 50-44.
It is a 13-all third quarter so far. Blatche drives, Euro step, we've seen that before. It's good!
Yeah, he took a bump as well, had the control, but it's again, attack the defense on the dribble, and Croatia at the moment are struggling to contain any dribble penetration.
Foul by Nouriel on Lafayette. De Ocampo comes in, Paul Lee comes in, Pingris comes out, as does Jeff Chen.
Well, Marcotta, as we see the replay of the little floater, Marcotta and Lucas Sourish have come in. They are less able to contain the penetration than Sourish and Tomic. And as long as Blatche can stay healthy here, and for this could be Fajardo time, he could come in and be the same aggression going to the basket. These are key moments now. There could be a real momentum swing going into the fourth quarter.
Bogdanovich pursued by Paul Lee as Norwood takes a seat. Lafayette with a long three. Rebounded and put back. Oh, he missed a chippy.
So open. What was
Lucas
how was he
Orage.
so open?
A total open shot, centimeters from the rim. Simon, nice screen. Beautiful pass to the corner.
Marcotta's not going to shoot that.
There's a foul contact, I think, Nouriel again. And Simon's telling Marcotta, hey, you get that three-pointer, shoot it.
The thing we were talking about with the Philippines earlier on, don't go away from what your game is. Well, Croatian basketball is about spacing, reading the floor, inside, outside options. If Marcotta's not going to shoot that, it lets the Philippines off the hook. And Simon just made a three. They can't stop shooting threes because they're going to make enough across the game.
Now, this is perhaps redundant, but the Philippines is actually going small with his lineup.
This will be interesting now.
Yep, De Ocampo right now is playing the four.
They've really got, if they work hard on the glass, they could have a real opportunity here.
Now, he won't miss this time.
No.
He's been told you can't miss those anymore. Luka Sourish now with his first points of the game.
Well, very animated Croatian bench at the moment. Yeah.
Coach
Tabak is up. He knows he really does take responsibility for the defense. He will not be happy with the way this team is getting broken down.
De Ocampo, no good. Rebounded by Sourish. As a matter of fact, Tabak will again be an assistant coach with Real Madrid next year, as he did before in his career. Played briefly with Real Madrid. Inside, Bogdanovich. He traveled. You know, I have to say, when you're a larger player and you have a smaller player next to you, you get anxious because you think you've got the matchup.
Yeah, because you're looking lower than you want it, and the contact is all in the wrong places. It's lower down. You're not quite sure how to use it. And then you try to do things you don't have to do, like you try to make an extra move, and you don't need to. Bogdanovich is 4 feet from the hoop. He could have just turned around and shot the ball.
Blatche, he traveled. He did travel. He slipped. No question about it. Do you remember how much trouble Kevin Durant had with Chris Paul guarding him in the post? Same thing. Smaller point of contact, and it's like, am I going to foul him if I make a move?
And the referee, as much as you know they shouldn't, as Fajardo comes back into the game, if we get that, if he comes up with a contribution he did in the first half, well, it's a 6-point game now. He had to turn around when they were down 15 points, 14 points. He turned it around. You
do not have the classic three-point shooters on the floor, though, for the Philippines. Simon gets the ball.
It's more their hustle team, isn't it?
Yep. Simon almost playing as a combo guard with Lafayette. Oh, open three for him. No good. Fajardo with a rebound. The Kraken attacks.
What a great effort. Great box out.
Castro. Well, they do have some three-pointers on the court.
There's nothing like a commentator saying they can't do something for it to happen. It's almost like if you want to make a free, say they can't. Again, transition basketball though. Defensive rebound, chance to run, shot in transition, 3-point game.
Less than a second's difference between clocks. They open up the court. Here comes the high pick by Sourish. Lafayette. Simon. Step back.
That's offensive, no.
Technical.
They're going to call it a flop.
Two shots.
They've called it a technical because of the flop. Now, I didn't see them warn anybody. They must have warned somebody.
Yep.
But that's a big call to make with 2.5.
Yeah.
There was contact.
Right.
He fell on contact. It wasn't like there was no contact and he fell.
Right.
Maybe he made a little bit of it.
But I have to say,
everybody does.
In this last quarter, we've seen now 3 plays where, though there was contact, the player receiving the contact exaggerated. I actually love this rule.
Oh, yeah.
I love this rule. It keeps everybody honest. 2 shots in a possession, that costs you a lot in a game like this one.
But there was contact.
There was.
There was contact, and he went down. Now, I don't think the referee is in a position to say he flopped in that scenario. He doesn't know how on balance the player was when the contact happened.
Marcotta with that's in a second to shoot.
Oh.
Tough shot. Marcotta makes it his first 3-pointer. He's got 5, and at the end of 3, Croatia leads the Philippines by 8.
Well, the Marcotta 3 almost undoes all the work that the Philippines did in that period. Crazy foul, 2 seconds on the clock. If he makes it, great. If he doesn't, whatever. But that technical foul is now a 5-point play. I still don't see it as a foul, as a flop, especially when the way that other players have gone down. But let's not take away from the fact that this is a great game. The Philippines are right in it, and they've got ways to score now. And I still think Croatia have to contain the penetration, and then they can control the game.
One interesting stat we have not brought up is the fact that Croatia has not missed a single free throw, and that may be the lead.
Well,
part of the lead anyway.
But they've only 4 trips to the free throw line in that period. They've been there 10 times. They've made 10.
Simone was actually quite a factor, both handling the ball and penetrating and shooting.
He got to a point where he was one of the players who just carried on doing what he does. Everyone else got a little bit away from what they were trying to do. And I don't think the Philippines have stopped the 4 and 5 from Croatia combining to get high percentage shots. Croatia have gone away from it to try and post up the 3.
This was a crazy play. When Tenorio drives, takes a shot inside, misses, somehow they get the ball back, and it ends up in a 3. Another deflection, fast break opportunity, and a great move by Bogdanovich, sensing that Blatche was behind him, laid it up with his left hand. We're ready for the 4th quarter. This is the opening game of the opening day of the World Cup of Basketball 2014 in Spain. Alongside Coach Mark Clark, this is Alvaro Martin. Jason Castro outside to De Ocampo. Chess. It is a 3.
Trademark.
And it's a 5-point lead.
Yeah, penetration kick. Didn't control the penetration.
None of the Filipinos, I should say Gabe Norwood has 3 fouls. And that is a travel before the basket.
I should have let the referee make the call. I'm sorry, but it was like he's wide open. He's missed a gimme, and he took a few steps, should we say. These first few minutes for the Philippines, if they are important. They can't let Croatia run away from them. They can't do stuff like that where they turn the ball over.
Corner shot, Bogdanovich. The 3 now comes in as a factor. 3-pointer by Bojan, and that is now an 8-point lead with 9:10 to go in regulation. Stripped by Simon, but also a foul on Paul Lee.
Blatche is, I would almost wouldn't mind seeing Vardo stay in the game with Blatche just for a minute or so, just to get some momentum and intensity going again for the Philippines.
When do we see the zone again?
Well, that's the question.
Tenorio, guarded by a much taller Simon. Philippines, the smallest team in the entire 24-team field. Oh! Ocampo faked out. Both big guys, both Marcotta and Sourish, with a nice move. Sourish had a shot. He was looking for a pass. Again, another foul on Nouriel. Contact above the free throw line with a driving guard.
See, Sourish doesn't decide where he wants Del Campo to go. He doesn't say, I'm going to line you up, make you go baseline. He tries to play him, and that causes the confusion.
Tough shot by Lafayette. It's good. So now they stretch out, again into an 8-point lead. 8.5 to go in the fourth.
That's Lafayette's first 2 points since the early 4, I think.
They will drive to Nouriel. Back out to Blatche for the 3. Marcotta guards him. Foul by Marcotta.
That's going to happen every single time.
Crossover.
Yeah.
And a foul. Too quick.
There's the same thing again. Marcotta just played him. He didn't say, I'm just not going to let you go down the middle. I want you to beat me here. He gets too square and he just gets too close. Force him to the sideline or whatever the rule is, and then see where your defensive help comes from.
Del Campo to the bench. Back comes Pingris. Back comes Alapag. Look at the guards for the Philippines. Giving up centimeters height.
Del Campo's come out. He can't go straight back, can he?
He's back in again.
That's the same phase. I just think they got confused.
I was going to say, they were going to have a backcourt that averaged 1.76 meters. Blatche, one-handed again. Tries to go left. George with the defense. Another contact foul off the screen by Alapag. He's fighting the screen, but instead of fighting the screener, he's fighting the ball handler.
Yeah, they don't seem to want to show. Croatia have been forced to set the screen a little high. They could afford to go underneath if they're that far out.
Alapag is 37 years old. Simon reverses over to Marcotta for the 3. No good. Del Campo off the dribble with a rebound.
Got to push. They've got to keep pushing. They've got to keep the tempo high. They do not want the Croatians to set their defense up.
Lee loses the handle. Blatche launches with 13 seconds, and he's fouled. He is fouled by Bogdanovich. 3 free throws for Andre Blatche.
What a decision by Bogdanovich. Blatche's the only 3 Blatche has made is the 3 where it was on the broken play and coming back out to him from the offensive rebound. And Bogdanovich just is all over his arm. Not the smartest player in the world.
Blatche, of course, with the Nets this year, 85 games, including playoffs, of course, 21 minutes. And as a free throw shooter, he was average, a little bit over average, as we see Damian Rudish back on the court. Blatche, 75% free throw shooter. You know, he's known in the Philippines now. He has a character name. His name is Young Seymour. Don't ask. I would not know why. He says that is his half Filipino alter ego.
Begs the question, who's old Seymour?
Well, you have to understand, in the Philippines, everybody, including the president, has a nickname.
Oh, okay.
So I guess he settled on that one. And as he makes the shot.
I tell you, the way he looks at the moment in this game, he's in this game. He's in the flow of the game. He believes he's got an opportunity to be part of an upset here. And he knows what it takes now. There's 7:36 to go. If he keeps being aggressive, he's got to make his throws. He goes 2 from 3, but he's ticked that scoreboard over. It's just a 6-point game.
Yep, with 1 of 2 free throws. Paul Lee guarding Simon. Again, contact over the screen. Now they pick him clean. Inside, Sourish. Pingris to the floor. Over to the Ocampo. Paul Lee. Corner shot. Oh, Blatche began to run before he had the ball. Rudish to Ukic, who's in the game. Marcotta not confident on his 3-point shot. Foul by Pingris, who's giving up kilos and centimeters.
And that's that moment where they've gone to the 4, where the Philippines have had a problem for the whole game. Pingris has just got to maybe gap Lucas Sourish there and say, go on then, shoot the ball over me. I'm not going to let you work me down too close to the ring. I don't want people to help because you've really hurt us there. Make the mid-range jump shot. If you do, great. We can live with it. It's not the same matchup now because Sourish will make a lot of those mid-range jump shots.
6:59 to go. Top scorer, Bojan Bogdanovich with 18 points in 14 shots. Ukic back in the game. So is Sourish. Rudic, open three, offline. Sourish stepped on the line. It's the Philippines ball.
See the screen a little bit further away from the basket, then they went underneath and did a really nice job at containing the penetration coming off it.
Are the Gilas gassed? Are they tired?
Well, they've been rotating enough that they should be fine going into the last 6 minutes of a game. They've still got rotations. They're very much for like for like, aren't they? Apart from this guy with the ball.
Over to the Ocampo. Back out to Blatche. 8 seconds to shoot. Foul by Rudic. He just bailed him out. He just helped them out of a jam.
So Blatche has made 2 perimeter shots the whole game, and Reyes is chasing him on the three-point line, asking to get beat, and then he gets fouled. And that's the fourth team foul as well, already for Croatia.
There's a timeout. 6-point lead for Croatia over the Philippines. 6:28 to go in the fourth quarter. You're hearing Jasmine Repesha speak Vraska, which is the Croatian language. Unfortunately, neither Mark Clark or I are very good at it.
I struggle with my Croatian.
And even though you love visiting Croatia.
It is one of the most beautiful parts in the world. I'm not part of the Croatian tourist board, but I would recommend it to anybody who wants to have an absolutely marvelous time. But one thing for sure, whether we understand Coach Repesha in terms of his language or not, he is a worried coach now. He is a coach that's got to find a way to win a game. He's up 4, he's up 6. He's already in the penalty in terms of the foul count. And the Philippines have found a way to stop his team at the moment, getting shots they want.
Croatia, a country of over 4 million people, a country with 1,000 islands off its coast, only 48 of which are actually inhabited, but they're all lovely. The Philippines, 7,100 islands in the archipelago. Here comes Blatche. No good. In the hands of Alapag. He lines up a 3. No. Back to the Ocampo. Inside to Pingris. Loses the handle. And he traveled.
He came down with that, yep.
He claims that a member of Croatia touched that ball.
And the thing about that last play is they had options. They had the opportunity. And so therefore, Coach Reyes should be still okay with that. They've just got to complete plays now. 6 points, 6 minutes. You know, either way, but it's down to whoever executes better now.
Bogdanovich was screened, had a shot, looked to pass, over to the corner. Ukic passed up the 3. Over to Bogdanovich for the 3. It's good. Deadly, deadly. We've seen him make three-pointers stepping back, stepping sideways.
Right, he's the one Croatian that never doubts himself from the three-point line. Great job there, turned down the early one and ended up waiting for it. He got the open look, made it, great pass.
Beautiful play, and Chen just cannot finish. Rebounded by Pingris, and he stepped on the line.
Well, the last 2 plays, they've got plays that they're looking to get. They've got options. I still don't like Blatche, he's so far out. He needs to be aggressive, attacking the hoop, whether it be on the dribble or in the post.
Are they trying to clear out Sourish?
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do. I don't think they need to, though. Reyes hasn't been a factor, has he? Second half, he's been a bit anonymous.
Bogdanovich, 3 of 5 from the 3. Has a notion to shoot another one. Sourish, left-hand shot, turns around, no good. Rebounded by Blatche, right at the possession limit. Alapag.
They have to get that scoreboard ticking over. They've had 3 good looks the last trips.
Alapag
Blatche inside on the dribble.
Tough shot by Chen. It's in!
Actually, wasn't that just what I was saying? They need to take it over, maybe go into the basket. No, let's take a three with someone's hand all over us and knock it down.
5-point Croatian lead. Halfway through now, the fourth quarter. And the threes are going to be a factor here. Here comes Sourish with his three. No good. Sourish steps on the line. It is Philippine ball.
And then, see that you now have on the floor, you have Reyes, you have Ukic, you have Bogdanovich, all great three-point shooters, all better three-point shooters than Sourish. He didn't take that shot that early in the set at all.
For someone who's 37 years old, Jimmy Alapak looks very spry and fast. He keeps himself in absolute great shape. Here comes Norwood back in the game. Cuts inside, Pingris with the handle. Inside to Pingris against Ukic. Nice fake. Oh. It's in with a reverse. Wow. Boy, what a play.
This is Blatche spent the whole of that offense around the halfway line. They're just trying to play 4-on-4 with space and keep the big man out of there.
Ukic is short. Blatche up ahead to no one in particular. Oh. Bogdanovich takes the ball. That's just a throwaway turnover by Andre Blatche.
But Bogdanovich, you got to credit him. The shot went. They got their defensive organization. They had safe.
An offensive foul by Sourish on the screen. Alapag got hammered. Sourish disbelieving. There was motion there. There was a lot of hip motion.
Where's Ante Tomic? You know, Ante Tomic
is sitting down.
Instead of Sourish, a little bit more like active. And Blatche now on the sideline, staying out of plays. Now he's going to try and get inside. Send him away from the ball, open up the middle.
Sourish guarding Alapag. Blatche with an open three. Bang!
Oh!
Unbelievable. It is a tie game. The crowd is going wild. Sourish, left-handed drive, and he's fouled on his way to the basket. Try to quiet down the crowd and get some points for Croatia.
That's a really smart move by Luka Sourish, but he's got to make the layup. It's a left-hand layup as we get a look at the three that got, well, three-quarters of this crowd overexcited. There's everybody on their feet in the Filipino end of this gym.
You know that he can't take that shot with the Brooklyn Nets.
No.
Nowhere near.
No.
He's having fun. Sourish with a free throw attempt. Makes the first. Sourish attempting now his second free throw of this game.
Well, Sourish around a 75%, 70 to 75% free throw shooter. He's been in this situation before.
29 years old. Played for Fenerbahce in the EuroLeague and the TBL. He won the TBL this year with Fenerbahce, also with Bojan Bogdanovich's teammate. Blatche stumbles through. Chen had an open shot, takes a tougher three, and he's fouled by Sourish. There wasn't contact in his last corner three. Now there was. 3 free throws for Jeffrey Chen. And again, a chance to take the lead.
There's 2 things here. This again, Sourish, why? You know, it's all over the elbow. Obvious foul. Just contest. You got to be smart in this situation. You got to be under control and use the emotion. These free throws could put the Philippines in the lead for the first time in the whole game.
You saw Repesha adjust his collar. I don't think he expected to be in this sort of a dogfight. His team has been leading throughout, but now Jeffrey Chen with the next 2 free throws could put his team ahead. Chen is 31 years old, plays for the University of La Salle High School, was the 17th overall pick in the 2008 PBA draft. He ties the game. They're ahead. 2:49 to go in the fourth. Lafayette, Sourish, Simon, Sourish, and Bogdanovich for Croatia. Inside to Bojan.
It's got to be one shot. For Philippines, it's got to be one shot and rebound.
And that's exactly what they get. It wasn't a bad shot for Bogdanovich.
Please, if you're
Blatche.
a Philippines fan, now you're
Drives.
begging the penetration to happen.
No foul, gets the ball, it's in! Croatia claiming that he had steps,
Well, Croatia have been unable to contain penetration for 3/4 of this game.
they were looking for a timeout
The clock stopped
before
anyway.
the inbound.
The clock did stop, nothing happened. They're just going to get to the timeout.
Right. The officials were telling the referees that there was a timeout asked by Repesha, but the noise is so loud that 3 referees did not hear it, did not see it. So now they get the timeout.
Yeah, the clock.
And it's a good moment for a timeout.
They just stopped the clock as soon as the ball went through the hoop. No time adjustment. Hey, well, we get the replay. The help comes from Sourish.
Did he travel or not?
No, you got to say it came off Savage. The referee said that's what happened, so we'll go with that. It looked a little bit dubious, but he's a lot closer than we are. But the thing that came out of that time, everyone wants a piece of this game for the Philippines. But right at the end, Coach Reyes just calmed them down. This is how we're going to do it. And there's a lot of leadership there from Alapag as well. It's great. It's a great effort here by Philippines, whatever happens now.
They're not invincible. We heard that a couple of times.
Every time, yeah. It's got to be one shot and out, though.
Simon, open shot. It's a 3. It's in, and he ties the game with 2 minutes to go.
Wow, you've got to say, go back to what you do best, and their use of the pick and roll is exceptional, and that's what they get.
Oh, boy. Blatche bringing the ball up court. Sourish guarding him. Always an adventure. Norwood, back to Blatche, attacks, baseline, hammer pass, no good, anticipated by Simon, he takes the ball.
Well, the play was there. The play was there to be made as well.
Inside, Sourish, no good, rebounded by Dario, it's in.
It's the way to stay with a play. They want a timeout, the Philippines.
Reyes had to come all the way out to the middle of the court to get the attention of the officials. So
just to make the 1 point. This is why I'm uptight with a 5-point play. If you're going to call the flop on the play that happened before the period, we just saw a flop right there. No contact. He fell inside the circle. It just frustrates me that you're going to make a big call and then not carry it on. But that's just forget that, because there's 1:30 to go in the game where the Philippines have given themselves a chance. Blatche had the chance to make the play. He made the pass. They just weren't ready, because he's never passed on that penetration all game. He's gone up, so no one's waiting for it. He reads it, and they come up with a steal. Whatever happens, Philippines have announced themselves at this tournament now, though. Repesha knows he's got to come up with a defensive play now to take away what the Philippines want. Reyes, I hope he wants penetration and shot. Well, here's the Simon 3, which, again, Croatian basketball, they got the screen, they repositioned, they got the shot. That's a flop. If the other one was a flop, that's a flop. Sourish does such a good job, though, at staying with the play. He misses it, gets some contact, and goes up.
That's where Reyes had to come out.
Yeah,
he
was the quickest guy in the gym at that point. He was at half court before anybody.
Minute 33 to go. Norwood to Alapag. Calls out first screen. Here comes Blatche. Launches a three. Oh, God. No good. Air ball. And the ball harmlessly goes out of bounds. It belongs to Croatia with a 2-point lead. And a minute 14 to go. Here comes Jimmy Castro. Worried Filipino fans have had their fun today, but they would love to come home with a win.
Well, it's almost to the point they've had fun. They've had fun, haven't they? But now they want to win. They're going to walk away disappointed because they actually believe they have a chance here.
Lafayette loses the dribble, hounded by Castro.
They can go under that screen.
Inside the right, slapped out by Chen. Here he comes. Castro. They don't let him dribble in. He's looking for a big to show up and give him a screen. Nope. They're going to post up Pingris against Lafayette.
That's great recognition.
Castro inside for the bucket.
That's tremendous recognition by both the coaching staff and the player there. They had that matchup. They didn't force it. They got a great shot.
Tie game, 16-second differential between clocks. Oh, this is beautiful. This is the World Cup of basketball. Simon, excellent shot. No good, however. Here comes the Philippines.
Oh, my word. They have a chance to win.
The last 16 seconds, they can have the final word. Who is it going to be? Blatche? Castro's going to penetrate.
They've got to go early enough to give themselves a chance at the glass here.
Over to Chen. Very tough shot. No good. And we're going to overtime. What a game.
That was a 22-14 quarter for the Philippines. They picked themselves up after that end of the third quarter, 3-point play, 4-point play. Disappointed for them that they couldn't get a little bit of a better look at the end. This play, little floater with, again, great recognition, the inside with the post-up option on the small matchup, but they got that at the end. Chen was fouled. That's a foul. You've got to let the guy land. He got landed on. Now, I actually wouldn't want the official to maybe call that with the situation as was, but that looked to me like a foul at the end of the game. But Croatia now with Reyes in this huddle. I just hope he's now going back to where he was. They shot 78% early in the game. They've been reduced to 58% from the 2-point range. On the back of much more activity on the weak side. They were much better closing out. You just hope for Philippines with this foul, if you just look at the foul trouble. Sourish with 4 is a factor. Bogdanovich and Simon, possibly the 3 best players on the Croatian lineup in today's game, with a little bit of foul trouble. You just want the Philippines to stay doing what they've been doing. Penetrate, kick it, penetrate, be aggressive. I would love to see Blatche get it once or twice in the block because I think he could really do some damage there.
Homage is back.
Homage is back for overtime.
And so is Paul Lee for the Philippines. Welcome to the first.
This is the starting lineup. They're going back to the starting lineup, Croatia.
Welcome to the first overtime game of the 2014 World Cup of basketball. Inside to Bogdanovich. Beautiful pass by Sourish. And now they extend to a 2-point lead.
No weak side adjustment again.
Paul Lee. Blatche still guarded by Sourish with his foul trouble. Tough shot. Oof, tough shot.
Didn't ever create space. Sourish did such a good job at forcing him where he wanted him to go and then just containing penetration, keeping these men in front of him.
No good by Bogdanovich. Tipped back by Sourish to the corner to Simon. Beautiful closeout by Norwood. Goes over the screen. Lafayette. Corner shot. Sourish. Short. Blatche with the rebound. It's amazing how much ball handling Blatche has done in this game.
I think you made a great point. He's enjoying doing this stuff. It's his chance to be a guard. It's his chance to play and do different things.
Blatche behind his back to the corner. Pingris wasn't ready, and there's an offensive foul by Andre Blatche. A little bit too fancy.
Had to shoot the ball. Shot clock was down to 3 by the time he even got it.
He's just not used to that role. He's not used to that role.
If they're going to play him out there, play him where they've played him, where he has the chance just to attack it down the elbows, through the elbows of the key. Much more straightforward for him.
Yes.
I'd still like him to post Tomic up. I'd still like to see if they can run it in there now, just once or twice, just to almost remind the Croatians that he's a factor in there.
Referee Fernando Rocha from Portugal drying out the ball. For Blatche, the ball's different than the one he's used to. It's a little bit smaller in diameter, and I think the feel is very different as well. Something the NBA players have talked about being quite an adjustment. 45 of them, a record 45 NBA players in the World Cup of basketball this year. Tomic, very indecisive, huh?
Well, and
he doesn't have any confidence right now.
Blatche just stood in the keyway. Blatche is like playing defense inside the keyway at the moment as we
Foul
get the
by
foul
Castro.
on the ball. And we're going to be shooting throws.
Yes, sir. That's his second foul.
It's so easy to sit here and say, well, you know, Lefty hasn't made a real decent shot from the outside. And he's 2 meters outside the three-point line, and the Philippines are still chasing him. So contain him. Make them play it in front of you. Earn it from the perimeter. Keep him to one shot.
Now, we talked about the love of the game in the Philippines. A lot of people have asked us on Twitter, Mark, which are the 5 countries in which basketball is the undisputed #1 sport. The Philippines is one of them. China is another one, although China, they may argue for table tennis, for ping pong.
Must be Lithuania.
Lithuania is another one, of course. They're here in this tournament.
Yep.
Latvia is another one.
Yep.
And the 5th country is already in the tournament as well. That we'll be seeing them next. It's Puerto Rico playing Argentina next. Later on this afternoon.
Missed both throws.
Free throws, huh? Not a team that had been perfect in the first half.
Until then. It's amazing the pressure of a 3-throw. Got to space the floor. The matchup, Tomic is guarding Pingris.
Nouriel.
Pingris doesn't really have the perimeter game, but he has to go to work on the glass. That's a great work by Pingris.
It sure looked like Pingris was the last one to touch it, and that's what the Croatians are saying. But the ball will go back to the Gilas as Jeffrey Chen and Alapak come in. Lee and Nouriel will take a seat.
And this is where the Philippines have that depth. They're real like-for-like scenarios now. Everyone coming in is offering pretty much the same.
You were asking me how many minutes will Andre Blatche play. You said maybe 38 minutes. That's what he has.
He's needed overtime to get to 38.
Shot. It is good. Tie game again.
I'm just gonna give him the benefit now. It must be because of that knee injury. He doesn't want to like really work hard going to the glass. He's just stroking it now.
He averaged 20 minutes a game with the Nets. Offensive foul, hooking with the elbow by Bogdanovich. That is his 4th.
I'd like to see it again. I'd love to see it again because Bogdanovich doesn't have to hook. So if he does, it's a crazy decision by him.
Now remember, Norwood had 3 fouls.
That's a hook. That's a hook. It's a great call by the official. You can see the palm of the hand right on the thigh of the defender. We joined a little late there. Before that, he had his hand right on his thigh with his palm to the defender. Easy sign for the official to make the call. Big time, big play now.
2:25 to go in overtime. Oh, Alapak almost loses it. Blatche almost falls. They finally lose it.
Oh, he had the penetration if he had caught the ball first.
Bounce pass, and Bogdanovich took his eye off the ball. He saw Simon out of the corner of his eye, took the eye out of the ball, and lost it.
That's a great touch by I don't think stuff like this gets credited enough. Maybe out of picture for you guys at home. Blatche and Homage. Blatche just says, yeah, that's fine. Let's just give each other 5 here. This is a great game. I didn't mean to do this. You didn't mean to do that.
That is
great sportsmanship by Blatche.
7th turnover by Blatche, but he's got 23 points and 12 rebounds. That's exactly why he's a Filipino citizen.
And if you're going to not mind turnovers, it's when you're trying to make something happen positively, and that's what he was trying to do then.
Blatche again, open 3. And he's fouled by Sourish again. That's the second time that Sourish fouls a 3-point shooter.
Sourish will be out after that. That's his 5th foul.
Oh my!
Too close on the elbow. And now it's a completely different look for Croatia with Sourish and Homage in the game. It tells you a little bit about Rapesa's thinking. Marcotta would have been the obvious, a little bit more mobile than Sourish. But now it's an interesting matchup that Sourish is going to have. Sourish or Homage is going to have to guard Blatche. Now they've kept Homage away from him while Sourish was in the game. So Blatche could be a really interesting last 2 minutes here.
He misses the first free throw.
Well, statistically, he's going to make the second.
2 out of 3 so far.
They don't count for anything in overtime.
3 out of 4 in this game would about match his usual percentage in the NBA.
There you go.
Makes the second one. Still, it will be the longest 2 minutes for both teams.
Yep.
In a long, long time. The first time that the Philippines and the Croatia have played in a major international tournament, or for that matter, anywhere.
Well, one thing's for sure, they won't forget each other in a hurry.
Oh, no.
Homage has got to get it. They've got to give it to him in there, but he's got to want to come to the ball.
Here goes. Homage hook. It's good, finally. And that's exactly the expression of Repesa. Finally.
Why doesn't Ente Homage just want to do that more and more?
He needed confidence. He came out of that long spell off the bench with really very doubting everything. Let's see, Alapag. Inside, Pingris with a fake. Outside, Chen, dribble drive. Blatche is alone, but he loses the ball. Here comes Orage. Loses the dribble. No foul. Pingris steals it for Philippines. And of course, that great point guard, Andre Blatche, is asking for calm.
Maybe the Nets will look at this and rethink. I don't think so.
Well, they do have a new coach, but I'm not sure Lionel Hollins goes for that. Here comes Norwood. Short. And the ball is in the hands of Simon.
Lafayette bowed out his teammates there. No one boxed out Pingris. Lafayette just competed for it.
Last minute, the entire Croatian crowd here, they're not many, but they're all here. They're standing up. Inside, Sourish, turnaround, loses the handle, but it's off a Philippine hand. It goes back to Croatia with 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Damn it, Rudez coming back in.
Now remember, we saw in the first half the Philippines be completely lost off an inbounds play by Croatia that worked.
It's one of those scenarios again. Just hold the middle. Just make sure no one beats you going to the hoop, and you can always chase down the shot. Bogdanovich wide open again, same play.
But there's a foul. I believe it may be Norwood's. It is for Norwood.
Same play. Exactly the same play they ran. They get the same result, except this time they got to earn the points from the line. That'll be 5 fouls for Norwood. You've got to protect the middle. Give up something else. Do not give up that pass.
You can live with anybody else, anything else.
At least you can chase a shot down. All you're going to do there is foul.
Now Bogdanovich from the line today.
Bogdanovich.
Perfect. 2 for 2.
He went to Eurobasket shooting 93% from the free throw line. Last year he shot 70-odd, 75% across the EuroLeague season. This is money in the bank.
Ronnie Del Campo is in the game, as is Tenorio goes to the bench.
Pressure on. Croatia would, if they could pick anyone to shoot him, they'd give it to Bogdanovich.
Well, now he puts the pressure on the Philippines as he scores the first. Here's some Croatian fans in attendance. Makes them both.
Reyes takes the timeout. He's going to advance it to the front court. If he gets a quick shot, he'll get 2 for 1 here.
41 seconds to go with a 24-second clock to work with.
Now, if he gets the chance to run an out-of-bounds play that gives him an early look, he'll get the ball back. It's got to be a good look, though. Well, from chat Reyes there.
Oh, wow.
They're going to.
I'm telling you this. It's a new rivalry, right? First time they see each other. And there may have been many, many more games. But certainly, I'm telling you right now, for the Philippines and potentially for Croatia, this is a classic.
Yeah.
For both. No matter who wins this game, they'll remember this one for a long, long time.
Oh, and this is why the World Cup is why it's the World Cup. You know, you've got the best from around the world that don't play each other that often, so they become classic encounters, and this is what this is.
You can't really say that Croatia's played poorly. The Philippines have played up to everybody's level here. As Blatche takes the ball, guarded by Lafayette. They weren't counting on that.
They switched it on the screen.
Yeah. Here comes Del Campo. No good. Rebounded by Bogdanovich. A 2-second difference between the clocks.
Poor decision. Don't foul Bogdanovich, though. Whatever you do, don't foul Bogdanovich.
They're doing that just now. Now, if he makes both shots, it's a 2-possession game.
Yeah, Bogdanovich was not going to keep the ball for the whole of that possession. He was going to pass it. Sourish and Homage, for example, are not great. Simon's a good shooter. Lafayette's an okay shooter. The two bigs aren't great.
I'm not sure that Bogdanovich is going to give up that ball. As Reyes understands that it's all on Bogdanovich is not making free throws here. At least one of them. Give himself a chance. Makes the first.
Little step back on the line, though. He didn't do that last time.
As a team, they've made 15 of 17 in this game, and it's making a difference.
Absolutely.
Critical free throw for Bojan Bogdanovich.
Reyes has no timeout, so he can't advance it. They have to get it and go.
2-possession game now. Castro. No time to lose. Blows by Lafayette. Outside Alapag. Drives in. They need to shoot. Here comes Blatche with a 3. Oh, a three-pointer with 5.6 seconds to go. Now you're going to have to foul.
Lafayette took a bang there. He's in the corner. He's holding that back.
His lower back. And there may have to be a timeout indeed by Croatia. 1-point game. Croatia is clinging to a lead with less than 6 seconds to go, and I should say the first overtime.
Well, the first, yeah.
They
just took too long, though. And you got to credit Homage in particular. They got the ball inside. He didn't get carried away. Said, you got to go over me to shoot it. And they took another 3 passes to get the ball out there to Blatche. He made a great shot, but that time and the time they took to get the poor shot they got the possession before hurt them at the end here.
Notice how assistant coach Luka Milanovic stands right next to Lafayette and translates what Rebounding is saying. And there's Antabak as well, helping with translation.
Well, it's got to be the automatic steal or foul, and even then, they're only going to have 5 seconds to advance it.
That was a major 3. Again, he's never played so free. Never when he was in college. Never when he was, in high school. Never when he was in the NBA in his early years with Washington. Never with Brooklyn.
Dario Saric is probably sitting on that Croatian bench thinking that was called for fouls. And I think Reyes is right as well. Sourish has got called for 2 of those earlier in the game. He's sitting on the bench with 5 fouls. Sourish may have definitely caught some of the arm after it was let go.
Again, less than 6 seconds to go. You figure that there's going to be a foul. You figure that Croatia will try to get the ball in the hands of Bogdanovich or Simon or maybe Reyes even.
Well, I think those are great free throw shooters. Bogdanovich is furthest from the ball. He's going to come off any number of screens to receive this.
We're having a little bit of trouble. Now they're giving it 2 more seconds. 7.6 seconds to go.
That could be crucial.
De Ocampo guarding the inbounder. Over to Bogdanovich, and the ball is simply stripped. No foul. That takes away 0.8 of a second. So now there's 6 and 0.8 left. Sweating this one out is Yasmin Repesha.
Foul him. Yep.
And they do. It is Jeffrey Chen, and it's Reyes who's going to go to the line. Reyes tonight, this afternoon, will attempt his first free throws.
He's an 80+% free throw shooter.
Reyes this last season with Zaragoza in the Endesa League shot 76%, and in the EuroLeague competition, in 16 games he shot 88%.
Yeah. He's over his career, he's around 80%. But you don't shoot those 80% with 6 seconds of a World Cup game to go.
He makes the first coolly.
Sweet looking free throw. Simple, straight, everything in a line.
It's a 2-point game. Interesting if he misses, though.
Well,
interesting if he misses.
Interested if they miss. They've still got a 3 to tie this, even if he makes. And 6 seconds is more than enough time.
Yep. Blatche will inbound. There's a substitution. Paul Lee is in, and De Ocampo is out. De Ocampo has not been helping them much from the perimeter. He's missed 4 of 5 threes. Here comes Castro. Castro launches a 3. Contact, no call. The game is over. Croatia survives an 82-78 win over the Philippines in overtime to open up Group B action in Sevilla.
Wow, 81 to
78.
81 to 78. The game ended with just a very efficient performance by Croatia in that period of overtime. They got shots they wanted, they got it to where on, but I just was really interested in this. That's a foul.
That's a foul.
That's a foul. They're okay. It's a foul. They would have been shooting 2 free throws. They'd have still lost by 1.
Right.
But you have to call that foul. And if you don't call that and he goes up in this contact, now he's going up. No, well.
That second, he really grabbed his arm before the shot.
There's a foul before the shot.
Before the shot.
So there'd have been, and who knows what's going to happen in a free throw situation. You make one, you miss one, there's a putback, all sorts of things. There's been some big calls down the end of that game, which haven't really helped the Philippines, but let's not take too much account for that, because that was a phenomenal game of basketball to kick off this World Cup.
Again.
The Philippines, after that really poor, lacking confidence start, got themselves right back in it. And as we said right at the beginning, with Blatche scoring points, Bogdanovich scoring points, we talked about those before the game. We said they could beat any team on any given night, and they've showed the world they can.
As we see Jeffrey Chen take a shot off the fake and make the Philippines. Again, this is not a case where Croatia played poorly. A few players may have not played as well as you expected them. They played their game. They played it well enough. This is a story of the Philippines playing a tremendous game and pushing Croatia to the limit.
Yeah, and much talk about the, Coach Repesha. He's a great coach. But you've got to credit Coach Reyes in that situation. They made some adjustments in the game. He didn't panic with a poor start. They must, in the end of the day, they're a little overawed at the start of the game. That's the only way it can be, nervous, whatever you can put it down to. Made adjustments, changed the way we're going to work. Stuck to being the Philippines national basketball team. This is what we do. So you've got to credit Coach Reyes and his guys for coming back.
Unfortunately for Coach Reyes, his European tour continues tomorrow as he faces Greece in the last game of the evening. The second game of the afternoon. And then Croatia will meet in the first game tomorrow, right afternoon local time. They will be meeting Argentina, who will have the middle game, the game coming up next against Puerto Rico. Argentina essentially will have to prepare 2 games right now before the game against Puerto Rico, and that game has tremendous import because finishing 4th in this group means you will cross against Spain in the first playoff elimination round, and that in Spain is considered to be a death sentence.
Well,
not that the 3rd place is any better, because you will probably have Serbia, probably have France, probably have Brazil, maybe another team slipping in that can knock you out as well. But clearly, Argentina and Puerto Rico see that game as essentially a definer game for the entire tournament. We'll see if that's the case.
Well, and while you're looking at these highlights, while we're going through this, if you're Greece now, you're not liking what you've seen, because Croatia got the start because this was Philippines' first time here for a long, long time. And Blatche is his first competitive game with a team that he hasn't played a lot with. They're going to be so much more prepared, so much more confident against the Greek team that, they won't doubt themselves like Croatia did at certain points of that game. But Greece, on paper, not as talented, perhaps, as Croatia. They got the same matchup issues. Greece is sitting there thinking, hey, why have we got them second? They'd have loved to have them first.
But they do have this tape to watch, and they do have a Croatian team that they know, and they do know now a little bit of what Shot Reyes can do against them if they try certain things that Croatia tried today.
It's going to be an effort, an issue for Coach Kotsakaris for Greece to prepare for this team. But let's just remind ourselves, what a great performance by the Philippines.